Once upon a time there was a poor boy. He lived in a tiny mud hut by the river. Each night he sat under a broken roof. He looked at the dark and lonely sky. He felt deep sorrow inside his small chest. He had no mother or father near him. They had died in a sad, sudden accident. A promise stayed fresh inside his young mind. He must care for his family day and night. He must not waste time or fail. The boy had two small sisters named Mary and Anne. They were cold, weak, and hungry at night. They often cried softly for extra rice. The boy felt pain deep in his heart. He held their thin hands with a strong grip. He shared his dry bread every morning with them. He gave them water from a broken cup. He tried hard to make them sleep well. He loved them more than his own life. He feared they might vanish in the dark. One evening his father lay on a torn mat. His father spoke with a weak, fading voice. He said, "My son, take care of your sisters." The boy held his father's rough hand tightly. He heard the last breath leave his father. He saw the tear fall on the mat. He felt cold tears run down his cheeks. He made a solemn promise in that moment. He whispered, "I will not waste any time." He vowed to be strong in every hour. The next dawn he rose with trembling legs. He swept the dust from the small floor. He boiled rice in a rusty old pot. The rice tasted of dust and tears. His sisters ate in silence with weak smiles. The boy watched their hollow cheeks sadly. He wiped a tear from his rough skin. He said, "I will keep you safe always." He felt a cold breeze against his back. He shivered, yet held his head up. That night, a faint whisper rose from the wall. The boy froze in his simple wooden chair. He leaned forward to catch the soft sound. No one stood in the small, dim room. The whisper sighed, "Do not forget our promise." The boy's heart pounded in his ears. He felt a warm hand on his shoulder. Yet no one stood behind him in the dark. The whisper faded with the cold night wind. He told himself it was his father's ghost. Days passed with more strange noises and shadows. Each night he heard soft sobs behind doors. Strange shapes moved just outside his window. He peeked through cracks but saw only stars. The wind carried low, sad melodies at midnight. He wrapped his sisters close to his chest. He said, "It is just the wind, Mary." She held his shirt and looked scared. He closed his eyes and pretended to sleep. His heart beat fast like a frightened bird. One night, Mary woke with tears on her cheeks. She whimpered, "I miss her soft, warm hug." The boy hugged her and whispered, "I miss her too." They sat in the cold moonbeams on the ground. They held hands and looked at the silent stars. The boy felt his heart break in two. He sobbed softly to hide his deepest pain. Mary cried louder and clung to him. He promised her, "I will bring her back." He knew he could not break his word. At dawn, he walked to the village market alone. He carried a small bowl to collect coins. He bowed and said, "Please spare some food." A woman shook her head and turned away. The boy felt his hope slip from his chest. He held his bowl closer to his waist. A kind man dropped one small coin inside. The boy bowed low and thanked him softly. He felt a warm glow of kindness within. He said, "Thank you, sir. You saved our day." On his way home, he saw an old shop door. The door stood half open and silent. He walked in with a soft, careful step. A man sat by a dim lantern inside. The man looked up with bright, shining eyes. He said, "Child, you look tired and sad." The boy nodded and held up his empty bowl. The man smiled and reached under the table. He gave the boy a small cloth bag. He whispered, "This will help you not to waste time." The boy opened the bag by the starlight. A cold wind blew from inside the cloth. The bag slipped from his small, trembling hands. Dust rose up like tiny silver stars. The dust glowed bright against the dark floor. It formed a face with deep, sad eyes. The face spoke in a hushed, gentle whisper. It said, "Time is life. Use every moment." The boy fell to his knees in fear. He cried, "I will not waste any of it." He ran through the night to reach home. His sisters waited by the silent, closed door. The door hung open just a bit. He saw no footprints on the ground. He called their names again and again. A single shoe lay near the broken gate. His heart sank lower than before. He sank to the ground and wept. He cried, "Where are you? Come, back to me." He felt alone in the vast dark world. Daylight came but brought no good news. He searched every hut and every alley. He asked old neighbors, but none could help. He had no food left to eat. He sat on a cold stone by the road. A stray dog limped to him and whimpered. He had no hand to pat its head. He missed his sisters with all his heart. He whispered, "You were my only light." He felt his own life slip away. In the late dusk, he returned to the tree. He sat on the rough grass and thought. He took out the cloth bag from his shirt. He felt the glow under his shaky hand. He opened the bag with slow care. A soft flicker rose into the damp air. The flicker formed words against the sky. The words said, "Use time for love and hope." The boy closed his eyes and wept softly. He felt a new strength fill his soul. He stood up and looked at the empty field. He raised his head to the silent stars. He dug a hole with a fallen branch. He placed the glowing dust into the earth. The soil drank it in like precious water. He covered it and pressed the soil gently. The ground trembled under his shaking hands. A tiny sprout pushed through the hard dirt. It unfurled a small green leaf in the night. He watched with wonder and hope in his heart. The boy learned that time can heal and grow love. He knew each moment holds a precious gift. He felt his promise to family alive again. He whispered softly, "Do not waste any of it." What will you do with your time, dear friend?
Download ebooks bundle now, link in description.